Guess what time it is? Friday Jams! Well, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Rock Your Brand Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Boker, a serial entrepreneur on a mission to help you. This show is designed to teach you, to inspire you, to motivate you to take massive action and build a future-proof business. So, whether you're just starting out or taking your existing business to the next level, this is your home. Now, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's rock your brand. What's up, everyone? Welcome to this Friday Jam session. Super excited you're here. And if you haven't heard me say it before, I'm going to say it right now. This is probably one of the highlights of my week because I get to hang out with some cool people every single Friday and answer some really awesome questions. Now, you might be asking, Scott, how do I get my question answered? Well, all you need to do is become part of our Take Action crew. How do you do that? Very easy. Head on over to takeactioncrew.com. It's totally free, and we do it every single Friday, and it is a blast. So what you're about to listen to is one that we did last week. So this way here, even if you can't attend, you can always show up here to the Rock Your Brand podcast and listen to our live jam session. All right, guys, so sit back, relax, and let's jam. All right, welcome back to another Friday jam session here on the podcast, here on our morning coffee talk. And if you guys are not part of our morning crew, you might want to head on over and take part in that. And we show up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And that's exactly what we're doing here right now. But if you're listening to this on the podcast, then, well, you weren't there live. And that's okay. But if you want to have any of your questions answered or just hang out with some really cool people to get you motivated, inspired, and really with the same mindset of building a brand, head on over to takeactioncrew.com. Again, that's takeactioncrew.com. And you can join us over there. It's pretty cool. All right. So today what we're going to be talking about is a question that I get asked quite often, but I also see a lot of confusion and a lot of mistakes in this area. And that is, when should I start using Facebook ads to promote my brand or promote my products? All right. Now, there are a lot of different reasons on why you would use Facebook ads. The very first thing that you need to do is get clear on what is the goal. Why do you want to drive traffic, right? So I'll give you an example. If you are just starting your brand and you're like, I don't have a lot of content yet, I don't even have a product yet, you might be saying, why would I want to use Facebook ads? Facebook ads could be used to help really accelerate the growth of your email list. Now, inside of our email list building fast track workshop, we do go through a very detailed way of using Facebook ads, and really not that much money to use them, actually. I mean, you could spend as little as $5 a day. And what we recommend is building your first list up to 500 email subscribers, preferably within 30 days. And the reason why is because this is an asset that we're building for our business. Okay. Now there's nothing to sell maybe yet. All right. Now, if you have products to sell, then we can go further and we can talk about, okay, if you have that lead magnet, we're going to drive those people to the lead magnet. Then we're going to have a thank you page, which then would create an offer for them immediately. And then maybe we can self-liquidate the ad spend, all of that stuff. We're not going to get into all that stuff here today. Right. But I just want you to know that there is a time and a place for that, right? Even if you didn't have an offer yet, because that email list will allow you to drive targeted visitors to your website immediately, so we can accelerate that. And the second reason is because now we can also start getting intel. We can start to ask questions. We can start to see what they want, what they need. We can start building that relationship with those people, right? So that's, as far as if you want to use Facebook ads to build your brand for that reason, I would do it, but I would not just keep building your list, and it's not starting to recoup some of that money. I would cap it, right? And the reason why, unless you're getting like leads for like 10 cents or something, but they got to be good, then I would just hold off on it. I would just get it dialed in, build 500 to 1,000 subscribers, and hold off on that if you want to. Now, if you have a budget and you want to just keep that thing running and you want to spend $20 a day to keep building your list, That's fine too, as long as we have a plan on how we're going to monetize. Okay. So I just want to get that out of the way. All right. Now, what I'm going to really share with you here today. Now, if you're going to be, or if you're watching this, all right, I'm going to embed this on the podcast show notes too. But this is a live coffee talk that I'm doing. So if you're watching this live, you're going to see what I'm going to share with you. So I'm going to try to describe it as I bring it on screen here, but it's really kind of like the flow of what it looks like typically for people. All right. And I'll describe it. So if you're listening, you don't have to worry about visualizing it. But if you do want to watch the video, I'll link it up in the show notes. But a lot of people are just trying to drive traffic from Facebook directly to that platform or directly to that product. All right. Now think about that for a second. Someone is scrolling on Facebook, on Instagram. They're just scrolling. They're like, oh, look at, there's someone posted about this weekend. Someone's camping, someone's birthday, someone's graduation, like whatever, right? That's Facebook. And then all of a sudden you see an ad for your product and we expect someone to go from there to there and buy, right? Now, in some cases, that can happen, okay? It can happen. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to just drive people to a page that we have no control over. Okay. Because then what happens is they go there and we're banking on they are going to buy that thing. And if they don't, we never see them again, right? They might see us, but we're just not going to see that person again, most likely. And to be honest with you, the conversion rate, depending on the market, depending on the product, if you're converting at, I don't know, 2-3%, you're killing it, right? So imagine that 100 people go see your product, right? And let's say that 2 people buy it. How much is your product? Okay. And then how much margin is on your product? How much did it cost you per click? Did it break even? Did you lose money? Can you make it up on post sales? So that's a huge mistake that I see a lot of people making. They're like, well, I can get all of these clicks, but they're not converting, right? So I don't care if you get 1,000 clicks over to your product. What I want to know is how much did it cost you to get those clicks? Okay. And then how much money did it bring in directly from that ad? So if you do not know your numbers, if you don't know your numbers, okay, if you're like, I think I make like 20% margin on that. So I sell a product for, I don't know, $100 and then, I can make $20. Okay. Do you really know? So the first thing that I would do is get very, very clear on your numbers. Without your numbers, you're just throwing money out there and you're thinking that you're making money, right? So we need to know those numbers, okay? And I don't care if you sit down there with a piece of paper and, okay, it costs me, let me just use Etsy as an example. So my wife right now is selling on Etsy. Okay. And she was introduced to it from my ex-business partner and she's doing it. And so we've talked about it. I'm like, okay, Etsy has their own pay-per-click, right? They have their own pay-per-click. So I'm like, okay, let's put $5 a day there and see what happens. So we're going to put $5 there. People are on that platform on Etsy to buy products. Difference between being on Facebook just to kill time and to entertain themselves, right? Different audiences, different purposes. Okay. So I'm like, let's spend money there. But then I started thinking, okay, well, maybe we just go out there and we can tap into Facebook. But if I'm going to do that, I'm not going to do what most people do. They just put a link to their Etsy store, not even to a product, just to the Etsy store. Now, if we do that, we have a chance of someone buying something, but our chances are very, very low. Okay, because we're not going off of search traffic. We're going off of disruptive marketing. That's what we're doing. Now, there is a way that I would do this if I was to use Facebook ads to drive to an Etsy shop, to an eBay shop, to an Amazon shop or store or product, right? So if you're selling on Amazon, if you're selling on eBay, if you're selling on Etsy, any other third-party platform, if you are not doing what I'm about to share with you, you are probably going to lose money. I'm just telling you that. Now, you may have a subscription business. You can make up that money in the end. Do you know that? You need to know that. Okay. Because we need to know, how much does it cost you to acquire that customer? We need to know that. Right. So when we get into the paid ad side of things and we're doing it to sell product directly, We need to know our numbers and we need to build a digital funnel. Okay. And it doesn't have to be complicated, but we need to build that. So let me share with you what I've put together here for you for this Friday Jam session. And if you guys are not able to watch this, if you're listening, I will describe it to you. Okay. So let me pull this up here. So, all right, let me go ahead and get my notes up here. All right. So what I'm sharing with you guys right now is Facebook ad, big mistake. And really what that is sending traffic direct to third-party platforms. That is the big mistake. Big mistake. Okay. And we do not want to do that unless you like to light money on fire. And if you guys are not watching this, I have a picture of someone holding a $100 bill that is half burnt. So I had a little fun. And it says there for motion picture use only. That's so funny. So it's not a real $100 bill because you get in trouble for that. Right. So here's the mistake. Here's what it looks like. Facebook ad. And then we drive them directly to Etsy product, Amazon listing, eBay product. Okay. Big mistake. Okay. And you might say, well, Scott, but why? I mean, I could get 1,000 people maybe to click over. You could. Number one, have you done your targeting right? Who are they? Are they just, I don't know, men between 30 and 50 years old and, they like a couple pages? Like, is that your targeting? So we need to understand who we're really targeting. So that's a whole nother conversation. But let's say you got that dialed in, right? And you're like, yeah, these people, they're all bass fishing enthusiasts. They're all bass fishing enthusiasts. Okay, great. You put a product up there. You do have a better chance, by the way, of selling it to at least that the interest group is targeted properly. So now let's take a look at what the first example I'm going to share with you would be the first step. Like this here would be the minimum that you should do. Okay. Capture the email, get more chances. All right. So all you're doing is just you're intercepting the direct path, right? So just imagine for a second, someone clicks on the link, all right, in the Facebook ad, and it drives them to a landing page. And that landing page would have an email capture to get a coupon to buy your product, right? So now we have a better chance of someone putting their email address in to get the coupon. It also signals and gives us a filter to say that person wants to buy my product. Now, some would say, but Scott, then you put that in there, you're going to lose people, but I'm going to gain more people that I can follow up with. And I guarantee that I will make more sales by doing this, right? If I didn't put this little thing in the middle, what's going to happen is people are going to go there, they're going to bounce. They're going to go there, they're going to bounce. They're going to go there, they're going to bounce. Here, I'm going to get way more people to at least put their email address in. And then I'm still going to get some people that might buy, but then I'm going to be able to follow up with these people. And that is the goal. Now, here's the other thing. When you're doing this, okay, and when you have that landing page there, okay, we can also do some other really cool things with that landing page, okay? Now, just imagine this, though, for a second. If you were able to get a 10% conversion rate, which is low on the email opt-in, 10%, okay? 10% means out of 100 people, that's 10 people. You have 10 people now that they put their email in there to say, I want that coupon because I want to buy that product. Do you think that's better than sending 100 people there and getting 1 or 2 sales? See, I would rather have the other because they've signaled to me they want it. And for some reason, they just didn't buy, right? You might still get the 2 people that buy and you're going to get 10 emails out of it. Okay. So you see what we're saying here? We get more chances. And I'm telling you right now, the money is in the follow-up. Let me say that one more time. The money is in the follow-up. If you are able to send emails, primarily emails, by the way, I'm telling you right now, you are going to make more money in your business than if you did not have that email list. All right. It's just across the board. Everyone that has an email list that has the right people on it, obviously, right? They're going to increase their chances, right? That one person that would have just went to your product and then they bounce, you're never going to be able to follow up with them again. All right. Now check this out. This is when it gets really, really cool. Now check this out. Now, if you're not being able to see this, I'll describe it to you. Okay. How about we build two lists at the same time? So what we're doing here is we're taking the exact same thing I just shared with you, this little mini funnel, right? The funnel is, top of the funnel is your Facebook ad that's targeting a certain group of people. You're sharing it with those people. You're paying for that. People click, they go to the email capture page, the landing page, and then they still can go to the product from that page, right? Now, here's the other thing that happens though. We capture their email like we said before, but the other thing that we can do is we can drop a Facebook pixel on our landing page, which now builds a custom audience. So even if people don't enter their email address, I capture them as being interested as a custom audience. So now I've built a list inside Facebook. It's a custom audience now that I could send more ads to. I could say, hey, I noticed that you're interested in this. Here's another color. Here's another style, right? And then again, I could then bring them to a landing page, maybe get them to opt in, maybe not, but now I could pixel that page. So the cool thing about this is even if, let's say, for example, I convert, and I mean, low would be 20%. A 20% conversion on a landing page. If you're getting 20%, you're doing okay. We'd like to get that to 30 to 40% for an email capture. If it's not, something's wrong with that landing page. The messaging is off. The messaging is off on the Facebook ad to the landing page. Not going to talk about that today because it's a whole nother conversation, right? But just imagine this now, right? We have a Facebook ad. We're saying, something like, 20% off our mega pack of bass fishing lures, right? And we targeted the right people. Now, instead of sending them directly over to buy it on Etsy or to buy it on eBay or to buy it over on Amazon, we put an email capture there and it says, awesome. Where do you want us to send your 20% off discount code so you can get this limited edition of our ultimate bass fishing lure set, right? Now they put their email in there, and then the thank you page would say, awesome, here's your code, right? And it could be a generic code that you give everyone. Doesn't have to even be unique. And then you give them a link to that product on that thank you page. Now, some people are going to go there, use the coupon code. Some people aren't. Okay. But now what we get to do is we get to immediately follow up with an email. We can trigger that email through ConvertKit or whatever provider you're using and say, hey, here's your link again, just in case you missed it. Here's your code. And you can follow up with them. And you can even put a little bit of scarcity in there. This is going to be available for the next 3 days only. And then do a little deadline sequence in there. Right? So if you're not doing this, if you're just like, I'm going to put $20 on a Facebook ad, I'm going to go for clicks. That's the other thing too. Here's another mistake I see people making. They don't run it as a conversion ad. They run it as an engagement ad. Okay. And then you're all happy because you're like, oh, look we're getting a whole bunch of engagement and it's cheap. Okay. But if your goal is to convert, then we want to create a conversion ad. Okay. There's different rules that you can set or goals that you're going to tell Facebook. I want engagement or I want conversions. I want leads, like whatever. Need to tell them what you want. They're going to find those people. Okay. So when people say, oh, I'm getting all these clicks, I'm getting all these impressions, I don't care about that. Okay. Because at the end, I'd be like, okay, well, how much did it cost you? And how much did it bring back? And if you're like, well, I don't know. I mean, I think my sales are up. You better track that because you're spending money now, right? This way here, we have a much greater chance of tracking that. One way that you're going to track it is because you're going to create a unique code that is only going to be used for this offer. And when you go into Etsy, when you go into eBay, when you go into Amazon, you can look and go, how many of those were used? Oh, there was 4 used yesterday. Huh, okay. I made 4 sales yesterday off the ads. Then you can also go, okay, well, maybe you send another code that's in the email and say, use this code. And then you can say, oh, the people that use this code must have went through the email sequence. So we can set up little areas of the funnel that can also self-identify us. But at the very minimum, you want to do Facebook ad to a landing page that gives them the coupon. And then from there, you direct them to the offer. Like at the very minimum, I would install that Facebook pixel there too. because then you're going to build a secondary list. All right. So that's what I got for you guys here today. If you are running Facebook ads or you want to, understand this. Okay. Just understand this. Should you be running Facebook ads? That's a question only you can answer. I can say, well, if you're trying to build an email list and you don't have an email list, then I would say, yeah, spend $300 and build yourself an email list. I mean, we literally just did that as a case study inside the academy where I built a list, took me 15 days, spent just over $300, including the prize, I believe it was. And $300 for just, I think it was like 532 or something like that emails, right? And then I turned it off for now. And right now I'm running a promotion to that list for a brand new ebook that we're releasing. And the last I looked, we'd sold 37 of them. And we still got all of today. And I got to send 2 more emails in that sequence, in that follow-up. Now, if I didn't have this thing going, I wouldn't be able to communicate with these people. I wouldn't be able to follow up with these people. The money's in the follow-up. All right. And that's through email. All right. So hopefully this answered your question. And if you want to ask any questions on this, you can do it now if you're here live, or if you're listening to the podcast. Make sure you hang out with us over at takeactioncrew.com, and you can join us in the mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I'm sure we'll be talking more about this in the future. But make sure you know your numbers and make sure that you have an email capture page, a landing page in the middle of that flow. All right. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that Friday jam session. And like I said in the beginning, if you want to attend one of our live Friday jam sessions, all you need to do is head on over to takeactioncrew.com. That is where we show up every Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And you can join us. You can ask a question, and then I can answer it. And we can go ahead and also publish it here on the podcast. So once again, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. This is always one of the highlights of my week. And until next time, remember, I'm here for you. I believe in you, and I am rooting for you. But you have to, come on, say it with me, say it loud, say it proud, take action. Have an awesome, amazing day, and I'll see you right back here on the next episode. Now go rock your brand.